All right, let's see what kind of crap's happening around the world today.
This shocking event just happened a few days ago in Smethwick in the UK, where we can clearly see a group of engineers working so well together to repair this vehicle and replace its windows. Even more inspiring is how they're accompanied by doctors who offer free surgeries to the passengers inside the vehicle. But the most amazing part of all is how the doctors and engineers run away, not accepting any form of payment from the driver. That's just how generous they are. Pro members of European society, and make sure to follow if you want to make Europe Europe again.
Yeah, and just in case you're not picking up, he's being sarcastic when he's calling them doctors and engineers. He's doing that because their government told them that when they were bringing all these immigrants into the country, that they were people that were doctors and engineers who were going to help the country, like be productive citizens to the country. But they're not. They're not doctors and engineers. They're literally criminals, and they're going there and they're committing crimes. What a surprise, right?
Forget that the CEO who runs ChatGPT said this. I am happy to say that I am convinced that the job destruction in the next couple of decades is going to be massive. Like, honestly, one of the things that I struggle with, like getting out of the bed every morning, is that like my job is to help people destroy jobs. Like, how are billions of people going to replace the meaning they got from work with whatever they're going to fill their time with? And I think this is the number one challenge in kind of technology.
Who could have ever expected this?
Parents of at least a dozen girls tell 7 News that an 18-year-old male student has been and their daughters in between the at school as they walk to classes. A number of parents showed up for a hearing this morning. They say 18-year-old Israel Flores Ortez would step up behind during school and put his hands on their areas front and back. Ortez was arrested last week, though prosecutors said in open court this has been going on all year. We also learned today Ortez is an illegal immigrant, and ICE lodged a detainer shortly after his arrest. Today, Ortez's attorney asked a judge to release him on bail, and the prosecutor from the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office under Steve Descano agreed to his release, but the judge was not having it. She did not feel the safety of the public was adequately addressed and denied bail. So Ortez will remain in custody.
Finally, W, Judge.
Yeah, doctors and engineers, right? These are the people who the Democrats are bringing into this country, and they're protecting. They're protecting in sanctuary cities, saying that these are good, innocent people, and they need our help. They're here for asylum. No, they're criminals. They're criminals. They're literally criminals. The amount of, I can't say the word on YouTube, but child, you know what's, who have been arrested by ICE, the people don't even know about because the mainstream media won't report on it because they don't want you to know how many people it is.
2, 3, 4, 1. We see that there's a wrong to be righted to.
And these are the people who are protecting them. These are the people who are going out in the streets protesting to protect the people, like the kid we just saw in the last video, who are doing violent SAs, right? To young girls, to high school girls, to underage elementary school girls. People who SA'd kids in other countries, fled those countries and came here and are now being protected in sanctuary cities. And these are the people who want to protect them, who are going out on the streets protecting them. They're brainwashed fucking morons.
We know that we are stronger when united.
And they're fucking pussies. Look at them. They're fucking pussies.
We exercise our right to assemble.
Is that a fucking guy or a girl? I don't even fucking know. Get that fucking thing.
This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
What does democracy look like? Appointing your presidential candidate like a dictatorship does? That's what democracy looks like?
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Well, would you look at that, y'all? Apollo 8, December 24th, 1968. Take a look at the clouds right there. And then over here, Artemis 2, April 6th, 2026. Uh-oh, NASA. Did you forget to move the clouds? They didn't change? What, 58 years, something like that? And they didn't. The clouds are in the exact same formation. 58 years later. Uh-oh, NASA. You got some splaining to do.
If evidence does come out that Carmelo was not in fact fighting for his life when he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf, do you think that the black community will accept that?
If evidence shows that he did not, no, we're going to stand by ours regardless. They stand by theirs.
This was left in the comments on one of my videos about the Carmelo Anthony case, just stating the case facts. They're literally mocking a dead child. And they're literally only doing it because that child that was murdered was born with white skin. White people stick up for black people when white people do racist shit all the time, but they be doing this shit constantly. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of it. This behavior is depraved, it's disgusting, it's evil, and I know that it's not all black people, just like it's not all white people. But y'all got a serious cultural problem, and y'all need to start calling this shit out.
Yeah, it's definitely that delusion, right? Where she said it. She's like, they stick up for theirs, so we're going to stick up for ours, right? Meaning she's going to back the black person no matter what because she thinks white people back white people no matter what. I don't know. I mean, I turn on the news, I look at the internet, and I see thousands upon thousands of white people constantly out there protesting against racism. You know, this fake racism. I constantly see white people sticking up for black people. But she lives in that delusional world where, again, she thinks she's depressed and all white people are against her.
Whites have long hair, blacks have short curly hair. What is the reason for that? Black's hair, your follicle, my follicle, is not round, it's flat, like a ribbon. So you know how Christmas you rub your hand on the ribbon and it curls up? Well, that's the way our hair do. White hair is like a soda straw, it's round, so it hangs. What is the purpose for that? All of the main arteries that take the messages and information from the brain to the rest of the body pass through the human neck. So if you're caught in an ice age, you've got to grow enough hair to shield the neck, to insulate the neck.
Makes
Otherwise
sense.
you're gonna die. Same thing with the nostrils. When you're in the sun of Africa, you need these big nostrils we have because you got to cool the brain down. But if you're in Europe and all that ice, you don't want to cool the brain down. So you need a smaller nostril bridge so you can warm the air up that's coming.
Yeah, so basically, from what I understand, the handshake that they're referring to, instead of just doing a normal handshake, right, where the heck is, where you put your hand out and you do a normal handshake, they put their hand out and they stick two fingers out and like put it on the other person's wrist, like on their pulse. From what I understand, that comes from Freemasonry, I believe, and it's one of their ways of letting each other know, like, hey, we're in the same club.
Do you think the Gimlin footage is real?
Patterson Gimlin
Yeah,
footage,
yeah.
100% fake.
Fake?
Yeah, it looks fake.
The guy in a suit?
Yeah, 100%. There's so many problems with that. First of all, Roger Patterson literally got arrested for writing a bad check to pay for the camera that he used to film that. They went there specifically to film it. The guy, Bob Hieronymus, who says he was Bigfoot, when you see him walk, he's this big old gangly cowboy looking dude. When you see him walk, he walks exactly like that Bigfoot thing.
You think it was him?
100%.
Huh.
Yeah. They even have a receipt from a gorilla suit that they bought.
I probably shouldn't go here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. For her to say that you're a bigot and you have hate in your heart if you don't think trans women, biological men, belong in your sport, It shocked me and disappointed me. And I think maybe convenient because it was at the end of her career. Because she knows she would never have been Megan Rapinoe as we know her if boys had been allowed to compete on her teams, even in elementary, junior high school. What's your thought when you see true leaders, probably players that you have looked up to your whole life, going against something that's so obvious?
Megan Rapinoe was actually like my soccer childhood hero. I always tried to emulate her whenever I was on the field. For her to take the stance that biological reality doesn't matter was so sad and heartbreaking to me. All of these athletes in other sports are standing up for the little girls who are in there, and I continue to be let down by members of the U.S. women's national team. And that's how many of the soccer players have felt.
You know, and I honestly believe that people like Megan Rapinoe, there is no way they could possibly actually believe things like that, that the things that they say like that biological males should be allowed in women's sports. There is no possible way they could actually believe that, because they know they would get their asses kicked all the time. Like they said, Megan Rapinoe would not have become as famous as she was or made it to the level that she played if she had to go up against biological men, right? She would have phased out in high school. She would have went on to have a normal job, working at the post office or something. There is no possible way that anybody can believe that biological men going up against women in women's sports is a good thing, is a good idea. They're just trying to push a woke ideology that they don't actually believe in.
He just violated the ring girl, kicking her on the backside, and that wasn't even the worst thing he did that night. But he had no idea what would happen to him just moments later. This disgusting fighter named Ali Haibati was making his MMA debut, but before his first fight had even started, he claimed he was dissatisfied with what the ring girl was wearing and kicked her on the backside. But Haibati's atrocious behavior didn't stop there. His opponent, Arkady Osypian, wanted to punish him for his behavior. Osypian completely dominated him and won by TKO in 30 seconds. But instead of taking the defeat with humility like a man, Haibati got up off the canvas and hit Osypian in the back of the head. A coward back of the head shot like that could have caused lifelong disability. But somehow his bad sportsmanship got even worse. Because as the winner Osypian was exiting the cage, a group of Herbati's friends brutally attacked him and started a brawl. But luckily the fighting organization stepped in, banning Haibati for life and giving his paycheck to the ring girl.
Yeah, so this is happening at a public school in Dearborn, Michigan.
I am Zahra Zreek, principal of Becker Elementary. Today is our annual Eid celebration. We are going to take you down to our gym to see all the cool things that are happening. This was totally hosted by our PTA. We are so thankful to have them.
What does Eid mean to you?
For me, Eid means to me getting closer to Allah and having a great...
See, these are the people who drove Christianity out of schools. They said religion does not belong in schools, and they drove it out of schools. Now they're allowing this disgusting religion that practices Sharia law, things like that, practices bakabazi. This is what they're allowing in schools after they said that religion does not belong in schools.
We got the hot cocoa stand. Let's go.
Hot chocolate, marshmallow.
Let's go. Hey, they're halal, right? Halal marshmallows. Let's go.
It's Ziad brand.
Yes.
If you can't see that they're trying to take over this country, you need to open up your eyes.
Eid means for me to get closer to Allah.
Oh, so teachers are not allowed to talk about being a Christian in school, but you can celebrate a full-on Muslim holiday. That makes sense to me. We're not allowed to say Merry Christmas, we have to say Happy Holidays to be inclusive, but you can celebrate a full-on Muslim holiday. You can have a 3-day Islamic festival, but we can't have Easter. This is happening in America, in public schools.
Let's just call it what it is, racism. It started with Caitlin Clark, and now it's me. Y'all see it. When white players start hooping at a high level, suddenly we're cocky, deserve to get hit, or we're too emotional. But let's be real, they just don't like seeing white girls dominating their game. I've been elbowed, shoved, even had players whisper threats during plays. And for what? Because I play hard? Because I won't back down? That's not just physical, that's targeted. That's hate. And I'm not staying quiet about it anymore. If I get hit dirty, I'm swinging back. Period. I did it before, and I'll do it again. I'm not here to play victim, I'm here to compete. But I'll never let anyone punk me just because of the color of my skin. If you think I'm supposed to just take it and smile, you picked the wrong one. And Caitlin, she's been through the same BS. We see the pattern, and the league better start seeing it too. If you don't stand for fairness now, when will you?
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. I mean, in the WNBA, if you're a white girl and you're good at your job, if you're a good player, you're attacked by the black girls. It's absolute. It's racism. It's absolute freaking racism. Caitlin Clark is the best player in the WNBA, and the black women can't stand it. Right. The messed up thing is that you only see this in women's sports. You only see this in the WNBA. This doesn't happen in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, he won MVP. I believe he won MVP of the league back to back. He didn't start getting attacked by black players on the court. Like Caitlin Clark was pushed down to the ground. She was literally choked by one of the black girls. Right? You didn't see that happen to Nikola Jokic. They weren't attacking him. Right? Black players in the NBA, they didn't attack John Stockton or Larry Bird. They're not attacking Luka Doncic. They don't attack the good white players like the women in the WNBA do. You know, it's the exact opposite. The black players in the NBA come out and say, yeah, Nikola Jokic was the best player, absolutely deserves it. You know, they say Larry Bird, one of the best players of all time, absolutely deserves it. But for some reason in women's sports, and in particular in the WNBA, the black girls just can't freaking stand that there might be a couple white girls that are actually better than them. Which, by the way, isn't hard because you ever see Angel Reese? I think she misses like 30 of 31 layups.
The left is done.
You think so?
Oh, God. I don't see them surviving. I mean, they're taking away all their voters. I mean, they're locking up the cemeteries. Nobody else is going to be able to come out and vote for them. It's a criminal organization.
Yeah.
At the end, and that's not an opinion. 1.5 trillion a year is lost to fraud and abuse. We all know where it's going. Okay,
Yeah.
Did you hear some of the topics in Congress where they say it's going?
All under these
Right.
NGOs,
All
right?
under these
It's-
NGOs. Okay,
Mhm.
so the American people are done with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what side you're on.
All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, head down to the comment section, leave your thoughts and opinions on any of the clips that we saw today, and thank you for watching.